how do we podcast again? It feels so weird doing this somewhere else.
Yeah, I
you
know.
know, I don't feel comfortable.
Hey guys, welcome to another Trash Taste episode.
Oh, sorry. Can you do that?
Starting things off good, I see.
Sorry,
I
sorry.
see.
I had to burp.
If
Yeah.
you couldn't tell, we're in a different location. In fact, we're on the road right now.
Yeah.
We're in the beautiful city of London.
Yeah.
Thought you were going to say the beautiful city of England.
Yeah, the beautiful city of the United Kingdom.
England is my city.
England is my city. And no, I'm not from Compton.
Hopefully it looks good. We brought our cameras. We are using different mics, so hopefully it won't be too different of a trash taste experience. And it should be like this for like 2 or 3 episodes. So, so if you like the old setup or you like a different setup, we'll mix it up. So don't worry.
We're going to have a few weeks here. We're going to film a few episodes here. Then we're going to change places again because we are on the road right now.
Exactly.
This is a very guerrilla kind of setup. We kind of brought all of our equipment from
It is jank as fuck behind this camera, dude. Like,
oh my god! I walked in this room and I'm like, this is like making me feel nostalgic.
yeah,
you
it's
know?
like the old studio.
Yeah, it's like
isn't
the
it?
old studio. There's like the trip hazards are back.
Yeah.
Like there's wires everywhere. But hopefully we're making it work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But hey, welcome back. This is, I guess, the proper start to season 3 of Trash Taste now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Season 3.
Yeah.
And by the time we're recording this, we had just finished MCM London.
Yeah, which I think by the time of releasing won't be too far after we went there. About 2 weeks. I think.
Yeah.
Oh, is it? Is that how-
Yeah. Around
I
about
didn't
2
know
weeks.
that.
Yeah,
Oh my
maybe
God.
2.
Yeah.
I'm like, where the fuck are we in like trash taste time?
I have no idea. But yeah, it was my first MCM London.
Yeah.
Actually, it's only my second time in London, just in general.
Yeah.
So,
So
MCM is I don't know what it stands for, but
it's Comic Con basically.
it's Comic Con. It's London Comic Con, and it's like the biggest
Massive
UK convention.
Comic-Con, mate.
Massive comic, mate.
Massive comic, mate. Massive comic meetup.
It's like an A1.
Yeah.
Everyone has A1 comics. No, but I mean, it's good to be back there. We haven't gone in like 3 years.
I mean, this is my first convention since 2019 AX.
I think it is for all of us.
Yeah.
isn't it?
Me
Yeah.
too.
So that was the last convention we all went to. And I believe the last Comic Con or the last MCM I went to was probably 2018, I think. No, maybe even 2017 because I went to MomoCon like one of the few years and it was it's the same weekend as MCM. So it's been a very, very long time since I've been to MCM. And,
Right.
Well, irregardless, it was a very different experience.
Yeah, because
This time.
not only it was our first con in 3 years, but it was also our first con as Trash Taste.
Yeah.
So we had no idea what to expect, and I mean, a lot of shit happened. That's for sure.
Yeah. I mean, it kind of put things into perspective. Just one, like how long it's been since Trash Taste has started, and 2, how long it's been since the world has moved on since Trash Taste has started.
Yeah.
Because I remember like this is not anything to do with MCM, but I remember like we met Kevin, met Kevin and his partner.
Kevin Penkin, by the way.
Yeah, Kevin Penkin. Sorry, should have.
It's just Kevin. You know?
It's just you know
Our mate-
the Kevin.
our mate Kevin.
You know the Kevin. There's only one Kevin.
Garnt's the
in
worst
world.
at this. Garnt just throws names out that mean nothing to people.
So we met our friend Bob. You know Bob?
Yeah, you
This
know
is like-
Bob,
it's
right?
like,
You know
Garnt,
Bob.
either don't say anyone's name or just fully explain.
Sorry, we met Kevin Penkin, who has flown over here to the UK as well. And I remember the first thing his partner says to me is, "Oh, congratulations on everything, by the way." And I'm like, "Well, what are you talking
on what?
about?" And she's just like, "You guys have been killing it, and I'm just like so proud of you guys." And I'm like,
Aw.
"Wait, I haven't met you since before Trash Taste started." That's so fucking surreal to me, right? Because I feel like the last time I met Kevin was just like a year or 2 ago, right? And I'm just like, wait, the last time I met Kevin, Trash Taste didn't exist.
No.
That was, it was like, it was nothing.
It feels like we started it 2 months ago, but in reality, it's been 2 whole freaking years.
Yeah.
And it's just like, and that 2 years though, it's just gone like that.
Yeah,
you know.
yeah.
So-
And now, like meeting people, like meeting friends who I count as like really, really close friends, and them congratulating me for starting Trash Taste is like so fucking weird. You know, I'm like, congrats on starting Trash Taste. You know,
Yeah.
what are we on like episode 5 or something?
Yeah, right. Damn, you guys got a long way to go still. Meanwhile, we had just released 100 episodes of this shit. Like,
We should
Yeah.
realize how isolated you are in Japan.
Yeah.
Because, like,
Yeah, definitely.
we don't get to speak much English outside of, like, our crew.
Yeah.
So it's so, like, you know, it's like 10 of us, and then no one else.
Yeah.
But then obviously here it's like, oh, you have friends. Oh, their friend knows Trash Taste. But it's like, our friends don't know, outside of like our group here, no one knows Trash Taste. Because they don't fucking watch English podcasts. You know? Suffering with success. Is that what we're titling this episode?
Probably.
Fucking
Suffering
DJ
from success.
Suffering
DJ
from
Khaled.
success.
Oh, God.
Yeah, but it was a first MCN for me. I'd only heard of MCN from these guys mostly.
Yeah.
And, you know, I was like, okay, it's like, what, the biggest con in the UK probably? Or, you know, maybe...
Probably by far.
No, it's definitely the biggest. It's definitely the biggest.
Yeah. MCM
Not
London.
the biggest con in Europe, though, right? Like,
No, that's
no.
JapanCon, I believe. I'm going to guess.
Oh, Anime Japan.
No, isn't it?
No, it's Gamescom, isn't it? In Germany?
I think...
I was talking about anime convention.
Let's see whose bullshit is the best here. I think it might be... I know there's an anime... I know there's a Japan Expo in Paris that's gigantic.
Anime Japan.
Anime Japan, something.
I thought it was Japan Expo.
Something with
Is
like
it? Oh,
just
I don't-
it's got the fucking rotary of like Anime Expo Japan. It's like mix and match, bro. It's one of them. I don't know which one it
Are
is.
we all talking about the same convention?
We're all
but
talking
I
about the
don't
same
fucking know.
convention. It's just we don't remember what it's called. Japan Expo. Yeah, I think now that you say Japan Expo, it makes sense.
It's huge, but I don't know anyone who's gone to it. But I mean, that's because British people. I don't know.
Yeah.
We're like friends. Oh god.
Yeah. And then there's Gamescom in Germany, right? Which is also.
I've been to Gamescom. Gamescom is massive.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I remember I went to Gamescom and like I was like, yeah, man. I kind of this is when the Switch was about to come out.
Right.
And I remember that Nintendo had a booth to play Super Mario Odyssey for like 10 minutes.
Right.
And the line was like 8 hours. And it was ridiculous. There was like a Japanese woman just standing outside with like a thing that said like, oh, the wait time is like 600 minutes or something. Right. I was like,
God.
I was like, what? And people were like, yo, joining in this queue. And I'm like, you know, the thing closes before this is done. What is this math?
Right.
Yeah.
But like, Gamescom is like so big that also I feel like you can't really do anything. Like it gets to a point where it's almost, you know, it's like this has reached a capacity where I can no longer do anything. I think I played like the only games you could actually get on in a reasonable amount of times were like the games that were like destined to fucking fail the moment they came out. Like the games that nobody gave a fuck about.
Is it kind of like E3 in a sense?
Yeah, it's E3 but for Europe. But it's open to the public, I think. All days bar one, and it was just like it was insane. I don't really want to go back. I think if I were to go back, it would be under like a press pass or something where you can just be like, see you losers, I'm going in line, I'm going to go to the front. Because it's just like
cut the entire line.
I'm hyped for like I was hyped for Super Mario Odyssey, but I'm not waiting over an hour hyped. Like an hour was probably my personal limit.
I don't think I'm like anything is worth me waiting an hour in terms of like games for me. Like I can't think of a single game where I'm just like, yo, okay, 2 hour wait time for like a 5-minute demo or something. Yo, let's go.
I think the longest I ever waited was like an hour and a half, hour and 40 at TGS to play Persona 5.
Right. Was it worth it?
An hour and 40.
I mean, yeah, but you know how long that game is. So 5 minutes is not a lot of time to, you know, like
right.
you
really
can't
get
do
into
anything. You can't sink your teeth into it.
No,
Like, what's the
not
point?
at all,
Like, you know
not
what I
at
mean?
all.
Like you're just teasing.
And it's like, I knew I was going to buy it anyway. So I was just like, at the end of the hour and 40, I got to the front of the line. I was like, wow, that was a bike.
Definitely not as quiet as our studio.
Yeah. Like, I was waiting for like an hour and 30, hour and 40 minutes. And then I got to the front of the line. I was just like, wow, I don't know if this was even worth it or not.
Oh, bro, you know what? Game I played at Gamescom, and that was like no line for. This is before Cuphead came out, and I was like so fucking hyped to play Cuphead.
Yeah.
Right.
And it was only like a 10-minute wait. And
really?
I played
that's
Cuphead,
awesome.
and I was like, "Fuck yes, this game is awesome! I
hell
can't
yeah.
I can't wait to buy it." And it was good. That was good.
But so we went to MCM. We were there for 3 days. Well, I mean, Connor and I were there for 3 days. Garnt was
I
only
was
there
there
on the Saturday.
for one day just because I had some things to do in and out here and there, so I only wanted to commit to one day. But yeah, how was your first UK con experience, Joey?
It was, I mean, we'll get into the details later, but it was a lot of ups and a lot of downs, that's for sure. It was very much a roller coaster. I mean, like, I expected, British fans to be super chill, and they were, for the most part. But of course, at the same time, it's like, this is our first con as Trash Taste, right?
Yeah,
so it's like, I knew that, like, my fans, like the Anime Man fans, like British fans, would be like chill as they usually are.
You blaming Trash Taste?
I mean, like, could you say that it was like 100% chill?
I mean, I think
It was for the most part. 100%
It was
chill.
like, okay, so here's the thing. It was like 99.9% chill.
Yeah.
You know, but then there were like those one or two people that obviously really, really stood out. And some of them even made waves. You might have even seen some clips online about some of the people we've had to deal with over the weekend.
Yeah.
Because it just like the intensity was just like way more intense than anything that I've ever experienced in my life before.
Oh,
like,
100%, yeah.
me and Joe, we walked around on so it's a three-day con, right? Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And they have this odd ticket system that I've never seen in any other con, where like every single day they have like a priority ticket, which means you can come in from 9,
Right.
and then a general ticket, which means you can come in from I think 11 or 12, something like
I was
that.
really confused about that.
I didn't quite get it. It's just cheaper. I don't really understand it, but we walked around on like Friday at like 10 a.m. before everyone got in. And like we could walk around, it's pretty chill.
Yeah,
like
I mean,
we got stopped a lot,
Yeah,
but
we were stopped every now and
but
then.
like we could still walk. Like we
But
managed to
like
get around.
you went Friday 10 a.m., which is literally the
deadest
deadest
time.
time
Yeah,
of
yeah.
the entire
Yeah.
weekend. You're not gonna get a deader time.
Yeah, exactly.
Than that time.
So at least like, I got to actually like walk around even for a little bit to like actually
Yeah.
see what the con was like in all the other places, because it's freaking massive, isn't it?
yeah.
That's really big.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
it's just like there's like 20 warehouses just attached to each
Yeah.
other.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, I mean that was cool. But then it's very once the actual like general admission started to come in around like 11, 12-ish. It got very heated very quickly. It got very packed.
So what was your guys' expectation going into this convention?
I was expecting like, okay, obviously more people are gonna know us now, not just for our individual stuff, but
Yeah.
for Trash Taste. If anything, there's probably gonna be more people who know us for Trash Taste.
Yeah.
But I wasn't expecting it to be like 10 times as much.
No,
know?
no, like I mean, I had some expectations. Obviously, I expected more, like to be more recognized and everything like that. Now that I've shown my face more, got an extra channel now where I just talk shit with the boys, you know. But this was definitely like an eye-opening weekend for me because we've like speculated before about what an anime convention is going to be like now since Trash Taste has started. And I think this weekend has definitely cemented that anime conventions will never be the same again for us.
Yeah.
And it's like it was like a bittersweet realization because I remember we were all it was a Saturday when we all realized this, I think. And it was right after our panel. So we had our first Trash Taste panel ever. And for the most part, I thought it was good, but then there were some really, really standout things that is hard to forget about our first Trash Taste experience.
So if you've been living under a rock, there's probably about 30 different perspectives of some dude running up onto the stage, and 30 different perspectives of me shitting my pants on stage.
Yeah, I mean, we weren't really like we didn't really prepare anything. That's kind of on us. Like we could have prepared something, but we didn't.
Well,
we were just like we were going to do a Q&A. We'll just
Just keep it simple, like how we've always done it, right?
Yeah, because we've always done panels where it's just okay, Q&A, easy. We don't need to think too much about it. People are normally chill. We don't. It's like it's a Q&A. You know what I mean? It's like how riled up can fans get most of the times.
But I mean, the thing is with the Q&A, it's completely made by how good are the questions people ask.
Yeah.
And I think it's just like roll of the dice sometimes that some people just ask questions that were either just like cringy or would ask questions that didn't really actually make us talk about anything. It was kind of like, what's your favorite anime? And it's like, all right, is this okay?
Yeah, it was kind of like, there was also like a lot of like very loaded questions where it's like everyone knew the answer to it even before it was asked. And it's like, why would you ask a question that everyone already knows the answer to? You know? So it's like,
I mean, I'd say like for the most part, we had we had good questions.
Some good ones.
Yeah. I think like, okay, I'm going to say this now. Right? If you ask Connor about his relationship status, just stop. Just
You're cringe, bro.
It is cringe. I'm gonna call it out because like when we see it on comments and on Reddit, like Connor's commented on it in the past. Like now as a mate, seeing it in real life on stage, I'm just like, come on, guys,
it's cringe.
Come on,
Well,
please
stop
don't,
it.
please don't.
Stop.
Thanks, boys.
Sorry, man. I just like
Don't hold me back.
I got this. I got you.
It's just a question that people always want to know, right? Because they're
Like, I
fucking,
understand the curiosity.
Yeah, people want to know, right?
But-
And I get it. My thing is like, all right, if one person asks, all right, I'll make some joke and tell you to, funny, haha, I'm dating Chris.
Yeah.
And then it was just like, okay, then someone else just asked again afterwards, and then it's like, all right, he just asked that, like,
Yeah.
and you didn't get an answer. You're not gonna get a fuck. I'm not gonna tell you anything. Like, don't ask me this shit.
Yeah, it's like,
Yeah.
oh, we didn't get a full answer. What if I ask again?
It's like, you know, whether I did or didn't, or I'm married with 4 kids. Like, I'll talk about it if I want to talk about it.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
it's
if
frustrating.
if someone wants to keep something private, then let them keep their privacy.
Yeah. And like,
That's not me confirming or denying anything. So shut the fuck up,
Right,
Frosty speculation. Like this is what
they're gonna be like psychoanalyze this, breakdown word for word, enhance.
You know, because it's parasocial Andes, dude. I don't know how to say it. It's just what it is. I you know, it sucks, but I know it's like a part of.
I guess it was just like, you know, we've seen the comments and everything, and I'm sure you get it on your Twitch chat all the time. Just hearing it like in person, like as a mate, I'm just like, you know, it just. I felt for my bro, man. I felt for my bro because I would feel uncomfortable if like
I mean, it's happened so many times now where it's kind of like, all right, I just have the routine of dealing with it of like, haha.
But that's the one thing I like. That's another one that I kind of figured out, like going to this convention, doing the panel, is that like it, you know, because we've talked about parasocial relationships so many freaking times on the show, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, you'd think that like after the amount of times we've talked about it, people start to be like, okay. Yeah, I get the boys' perspectives on it.
But there's also the fact where if you talk about parasocial relationships, it makes it seem like, okay, the person listening isn't a parasocial relationship because they're listening, they're hearing. But then it's like, okay, but it doesn't always like translate well.
Yeah.
But also, I understand how like on the day, you know, sometimes people get in weird moods and something's happening.
I get it.
I will say that it was like I said, like 99, like I met like a lot of people there. And like the people I can respect was just like, look, I know because you've talked about it plenty of times, you know, I know you more than you know me. I just want to say, I get that. And I still like love your stuff, you know. I still respect everything you've done, and that was like just a genuine. Okay, I met like a few people like at the bar at the hotel who I just had like a genuine conversation with from like that starting point where where you know we acknowledge this, but I still want to get to know this person because we're in a environment where I can get to have a more chilled conversation about it, right? But then you do just get these, you know, 1 or 2 maybe fans who just don't watch Trash Taste as often as other people, you know.
Right.
Because I especially like reading the subreddit and reading how much people have like called this out. I'm just like, that's fucking great.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, not every one of our viewers is on the subreddit, for example. You know, not every viewer watches every episode. So you will get that casual viewer who just doesn't know about the boundary as much as like other viewers, I think.
I don't know. I mean, to me, it was like, this was just all a learning experience. Like, this has no way made me not want to go to cons or anything.
No.
Like, I you know, like we've said this a million times, but yeah, everyone was super fucking nice. The signings were great. Like, everyone was really respectful, except you got shot by a Nerf gun by someone.
Yeah, that was cool. I wasn't there to see it, but...
So it was because it's like open, right?
Yeah, it was open.
So we had like a table and there's 3 of us. I was in the middle, Joey's on the end, and then there's Garnt on this end.
Yeah.
And this end is completely open.
Yeah.
So anyone could have walked up and like thrown anything at Garnt, which is just an oversight. They should have had someone there who is like stopping this.
Like I think it was like it's a learning experience, not just for us, but for the convention itself, for the convention as well. So. Like I remember the conversation where we talked about we don't know if we need security for future conventions. This taught us that we definitely we definitely do need security. Like that was like a very much a big eye opener for us.
I mean, obviously we had the incident happened where someone came on the stage who apparently, okay, so this is a whole fucking thing, right? You said it was a learning experience for the convention. I feel like, I don't know, they should know that it would have been better. And to be fair, they stepped it up, but I feel like it should have been there anyway. Like we practically had like no security really for like the first 2 days.
Yeah. Like I think they definitely should have had security for the panel. But I talked to some people afterwards who were working there, and they said, this is like there's never been this has never happened before. This has never even come close to happening. There was never like a precedent of this like ever happening at MCM, right? So it wasn't oversight, but also we just like a lot of people just didn't expect it because it's just never happened before.
Right.
I mean, I agree, and I don't want to go too hard because obviously like we want to go to cons again, but like it blows my mind that you would have a main stage event and not have like at least one scary dude in the front.
Yeah.
Just stop, like, you know, because it's like it was anyone could have come up. Everyone could have come up.
And it's not like, you know, MCN haven't had like insanely large guests in the past.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
I'm thinking like, what do they do?
Well, they had like Tom Hiddleston.
Yeah, and it's like there's no way like Tom Hiddleston could do a panel on stage and there wouldn't be a single fucking bodyguard anywhere.
I don't know.
Like,
Maybe it's just like a thing of they're like, all right, well, we have some guests this year. None of them are super high profile. I guess we can scale it back, save some money.
Yeah.
But obviously, you know.
Yeah.
But and also a lot of these cons, they know YouTubers are big. They know it, but they don't like. They don't know it.
Yeah.
Like, they understand, oh, he has 3 million subs, but they're like, yeah, but we have the guy who voices in like Fairy Odd Parents here. And I know what that is. Right. And I don't know who this trash guy is. Who's these rubbish boys?
The rubbish lads.
Yeah, who's these rubbish lads? What are they? Right? So there's this complete, like a lot of cons do have this kind of like disconnect between like, because that a lot of the cons are ran by people who understand like older media and traditional media. They don't really understand like YouTubers that well. They should by now, but they don't. And so I feel like there's a lot of oversight that happened there. And then getting to this guy in particular who came on the stage, which was a weird thing because this guy didn't do anything for like the first 20 minutes.
Yeah.
And then started shouting.
he was like, everyone thought he was like just a heckler.
Yeah.
I thought he was a heckler.
Yeah.
Because I was just like, you know, we've all dealt with hecklers in the past as well.
Yeah, of course.
So, you know, someone asked a question and then I just like heard someone shouting something in like the fucking background or something. I'm just like, oh, okay. It's
Just ignore him. It's whatever.
passionate anime fans. I've heard it all before, you know. And then suddenly I see some guy just walking up to the stage and I'm just like, is this happening? Is this happening?
I heard like a guy just go, no, I'm coming on. And I
Yeah.
was like, what? And then someone like stood up and I was like, what
Yeah,
the
yeah.
fuck? Someone's coming up.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, no worries. Security will deal with it.
Yeah. So there'll be someone there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was just like, okay, he'll get to the stage. Oh no, he's on the stage. Well, he'll get near the sofa. Oh no, he's near the sofa. Oh, he's sitting next to Joey. And then I remember just waiting. Because I assumed that there would be someone who would have come on and
I'd be like, someone's coming from backstage.
yeah.
He's gonna come and
I
collect him.
was like backstage. No, I was like no one on the side.
Yeah.
And a good like 30, 40 seconds passed where like nothing happened.
Like even the crowd was like, is this a bit? Like what's happening?
Yeah, it was so like out of left field that I talked to some people and originally they thought that it was just a special guest that come on. A special guest.
Some random dude.
But just a bit in like our show or something. And we were just like, I think the best way to describe it is just we were just shell shocked.
I mean, you know, it was definitely traumatizing. That's for sure. Because like that's like never. Yeah, as I said, it was like unprecedented. Like that's never happened at like probably never any of our panels, right? Yeah. So it's just like
I don't know how calm we looked on camera, but I'm pretty sure internally we were freaking the fuck out.
I was shitting myself because I was like, this dude like sat right next to me, like he kind of like shoved me out of the way. I was sitting like kind of in the middle of the couch like this, and he like shoved me out of the way, and then he like. You know, I mean, everyone who was there saw it, but like he tried to like grab the mic off my head, because he wanted to say something, and I was like, nah, dude, like, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah.
And then he just like starts rambling off about something. I don't even know.
Like he wasn't even like being coherent.
No, but it was just like coming into one ear and out the other because I was just like fucking looking around like, is anyone gonna do anything about this?
Yeah. Like I remember, like what he was talking about was nothing to do with what the question was asked or what we were talking about before.
Completely out of his
mind. He was just rambling on about something completely incoherent. And meanwhile, Joey is frantically looking around, trying to find.
I felt really bad for you. You were like, anyone?
I was like, help, because like I didn't want to like. You know, be the one to like instigate something, right? Because I don't know, the dude might have a knife. You know, the dude might fucking suddenly swing at me, right? So it's like I don't know what to do. Like I couldn't like push him off or anything because he was also fucking massive.
Yeah, this guy was big.
Yeah, he was a big guy.
I mean, like you know, I'm not saying that I would punch it if like a fucking 2-foot man came on the stage, but like I'd be a lot more likely to be like to try and leverage my own position if they were.
If a child comes onto stage, you're like, okay,
just
baby,
set up for the drop kick.
It's because like you're in the situation, right? Someone comes up and like you look at him, and you're like. if this guy really wanted to swing for any of us, odds are it's gonna fucking like really fucking hurt. And I probably won't be able to punch him. Like he was really tall and big, right? So it's just like you just sit there and you're like weighing your odds. You're like, what do I need to do? Like, what's the best way to handle this? Like, I'm processing.
Because like you rarely find yourself in a situation like this where you don't know what the outcome is going to be. So in your head, you're just like, what's the worst outcome this could possibly be, and how could I prepare for it? Because you're kind of in like fight or flight mode at that point.
And also it's like, you know, there was that like side of me as well that was like, okay, say for example, like if I fucking tripped him up as he was like trying to flee, and he like smashes his head in, and he's gonna fucking Amber Heard me and like try and like sue me for defamation and damages, right? It's like I didn't want that either. So it's like I literally couldn't do anything, and I just had to sit there and be like, just rage that like someone would help me.
I was just hoping. I was like, okay, you know, like obviously a lot of people were like, man, you should have just like punched him or something. And it's like, well, it's like, I don't want to be the one to escolate it. You know, at the end of the day, we're still on stage and we're trying to
create a clash was like a month ago.
Yeah, dude.
That's not what they paid the money for, man.
It's just like you're sitting there and you have to like go through it. I'm like, all right, well, what does this guy want? Like, why is he on stage, right? And so initially I was just like, okay, maybe he just wants to be funny. And I was like, well, this is great because I can handle cringe. Like half of my videos on my channel are like try not to cringe challenges, and like I'm fine dealing with a guy trying to be funny on stage. I'll just outweigh him in cringe. Like I know that I can sit here, and if this guy was trying to be funny, which he wasn't, but if he was, I was like, it's fine. I'll just wait until he feels so unbearably awkward that he'll just leave, and then I'll be like, all right, good. Which is what I think happened eventually. But this guy was completely, you know, he was not in the right state of mind. This guy was clearly unwell.
And he was also doing it to a bunch of other panels as well. So he clearly wasn't like a targeted thing. He was just like going around just wreaking as much havoc as possible.
So what I heard was, I don't know how, again, this is not 100% confirmed, but this is the story that I was told. Apparently he did this to another stage.
After hours.
Oh, after hours. Oh shit, I thought it was before.
No.
Oh, so after hours, and then they tried to get him removed, but at the time they didn't.
Right.
Because for some reason they didn't listen to the person who was trying to get him removed or something. It was like a whole thing. And then, we were told the next day that, he was arrested afterwards and I think charged. I don't know what with. But apparently, when they asked him why, why he did it, sentenced
to jail for being cringe.
Dies of cringe.
I sentence you for being cringe.
Honestly,
what are you in for? I was cringe at a con.
I don't know, maybe like trespassing or some stuff. Either way, I mean, you know, glad that something happened. You know, they caught him, and when they asked him why he did it, he said something along the lines of, he apparently just wanted to go up on stage. He didn't really know who we were. He was just there trying to get on stage to things. So it was just unfortunate timing that it was a guy at our panel who just wanted to jump on stage.
Well, like, I mean, it could have been anyone, you know, at the end of the day.
We're lucky it turned out well. Like, you know, if that guy really wanted to do something, this could be a really different story.
I mean, I see it as a positive experience because it really...
Do you want to be in my seat and say that? Or?
Sure. Okay. Let me say. I see it because I see it as an event like this where something this big happened and nothing bad came out of it.
Right.
It really put things into perspective for us. You know? It made it guaranteed that something like this isn't going to happen again because now we are more aware of it. Now we're going to convey this to wherever we go to. So I think, you know, it's obviously not a good thing that happened, and maybe we should have been more prepared for it. But it did happen. Nothing too bad came out of it, aside from just
a lot of cringe,
and just like getting his ass flashed like in front of our face because like his trousers was like half down.
Like it wasn't even like a half crack. Like he might as well have not been wearing pants. It was like the full ass crack, and I was like, oh god, why? Also, he stank. Like he really fucking stank. Like I was like, holy shit, dude! You definitely smell like a con goer. That's for sure.
I just fucking hope that guy gets the help he needs because he's clearly fucking unwell.
Definitely.
It's like, I don't know. It was just fucked. And it sucked as well because, halfway through the panel, we have to the panel was going okay at that point, I'd say.
Yeah.
And then we were already kind of like, fuck, dude, we got to do this panel now after that happened. Pretend like nothing happened.
At least if it was near the beginning or near the end, then, it'd be a little bit easier to kind of just clean it up and get over it. But it was dead set in the middle of the panel.
Yeah.
So it was the hardest to kind of recuperate and get back onto the flow of things,
Because I remember I tried to continue the panel, and all the only image that was in my mind was just that ass crack. That bare ass crack, that bare ass crack just hypnotized me to be like, whoa, where am I right now?
For me, it was that, and also just in the back of my head being like, what if someone else also does this? What if another person is just well, they didn't fucking do anything. Well, now it's my time to get 15 minutes of fame. So I was so fucking scared for that. And it's and also it was just oh good, I'm gonna see this all over the subreddit and the Twitter feed in 17 different fucking angles. So, But yeah, it was whatever. I mean, no, again, as the silver lining is that. Now we know. Now we're going to be a little more prepared for future cons and future events and stuff like that. And
nobody got hurt.
Nobody got hurt.
That's the
exactly. Thing. Just a lot of trauma and a lot of cringe.
Just a lot of
emotional damage.
Trauma by cringe, basically.
Emotional damage, but no physical damage. So that's good.
But aside from the panel, how else was your guys' con experience?
It was good.
Yeah, I mean, the signing was freaking awesome. I mean, that was a good thing, At least, everyone who came to the signing was super nice, super respectful, lots of, really cool artists and stuff like that. I just, kind of wish I had enough time to, go to the artist alley. Because I feel MCN's artist alley was, really freaking good compared to, other cons that I've been to. Because, naturally, when you're at a signing, a lot of people bring up stuff that they bought at the artist alley, right? Some of the stuff I was genuinely where the hell did you get that? Because I want to get it. But unfortunately, we didn't have enough time to go to the artist alley this year. So that was a little disappointing. But,
Well, it's kind of hard to walk around in general this year, I feel because I feel like the last convention we went to, was AX 2019, and we've said that, we could still walk around the convention, right?
Yeah.
We could, we'd get stopped every now and again, especially at a event like AX, but it wasn't to the point where it completely stopped your movement and made it so you couldn't walk around. Yeah. And I felt like that was very, very different this year.
Yeah. I didn't even bother trying, especially after I heard what Connor tried to do.
Oh my god. So,
I knew you were going to fucking tell us.
We got it. It's so funny. It's so funny. So after the panel and after our signing, was it after the signing?
It was after the signing.
Oh, okay, so after the signing, our day was free and we had a good 2-3 hours to enjoy the convention.
We were up in the green room, right?
Yeah. We're up in the green room. And normally at this point, we're just great, we've got 2-3 hours to enjoy the convention. Let's just walk around and stuff like that. But seeing how many people were at our signing and seeing how many people couldn't even make it to our signing because the signing got cut off. The line was full capacity an hour or two even before we even started the signing. I'm I
felt bad to everyone who wanted the signature. Sorry. We would have done it if we could have.
We would have done it if there was enough time.
So I think we were signing for 2.5 hours and and that was capping the line 2 hours before the line even opened. So I got the feeling that probably not a good idea to walk around, especially without security. And Connor was just guys, I got this. I got the perfect disguise. So let me tell you what Connor's disguise was. His disguise was to wear a face mask, a normal COVID surgical face mask, and some sunglasses
and a hat.
This is genius. This is genius.
So first things first, wearing sunglasses inside, totally inconspicuous. No one's gonna look at you at all.
Absolutely.
Why would you be wearing sunglasses inside?
It's bright.
Second thing, he forgot that the shirt he was wearing was a Trash Taste shirt.
That hasn't been released yet.
And it was a Trash Taste shirt that hasn't been shipped out to the general public yet. So
also, it's the Trash Taste shirt that you see him wear in almost every video and every episode. So it's that shirt has just been synonymous with yep, that's Connor's shirt.
I just I wanted to say hi to some of my friends, so I was like, "Hey, I'll just come quickly and say hi." I wasn't going to stay out long. I was just going to go say hi, and obviously, I knew it wasn't a foolproof disguise. I wasn't fucking going to film any movie scenes fooling anybody, right? Like I was just like, maybe it'll just buy me enough time where people will double glance, and then I can just walk away.
Yeah, right.
So I was like, okay, let's.
And how far did you get?
Well, no. So I went to meet my friend, who I told to come meet me at this, like at the gate. So it was like I literally walked out like 2 meters, and then my friend was. Problem was that at this area that was really convenient for me, like people were waiting for Sydney, to sign Sydney stuff, and obviously people like were waiting around there and recognized. So yeah, people just started coming up to me right away. But I was trying to talk to my friends, and it was just really fucking annoying because I was just like, hold on a second. I'm just talking to my friend. Give me a moment. And then they were like just asking for photos. Yeah. And then the moment I turned around to like go back, there was like 5 people this side. And then because my friend left, who I was talking to, people just filled the void. And I was like, oh shit, I'm getting surrounded. So the people in front of me, I just quickly took a picture with them. And I was like, make this fast, please, please. And then the people behind me, I could just feel them be like, Connor. And I was like, I gotta go. I'm so sorry. Because if I start doing all of them, I won't. Yeah, I won't stop, and it sucks. It's like I have to go. Like, and I'm sorry that I wasn't able to give you a picture.
That is the most like suffering from success story I've ever.
But it sucks, right? Because it's like friends would be like, oh, come hang out. I'm over here. I'm like, I'm sorry. Like I can't walk there.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh wow, okay, you're too big, huh? Now I'm like, literally yes. Like I actually can't walk to you. This will be a miserable experience if I walk near you.
Like it's literally not even us trying to like humble brag. It's just like
no. It was just like this was like the eye-opening weekend for us for us to see like, oh, okay, now we have to consider things that we've never had to consider before.
Don't get me wrong, we're greatly appreciative.
We're very grateful.
We fucking love it. But you know,
I mean, like, because after a signing, I really, really wanted to go to Sydney's panel, right? Because her panel wasn't on the main stage; it was on like one of like the side stages that was like in the middle of the convention.
It was kind of like a 2 or 3 minute walk. Right?
Yeah. So it was like a 2-3 minute walk through like this crowd, and I remember asking one of the handlers, like, "Can I go see Sydney's panel?" Because it was her first panel. I'm like, I want to see my girl, man. Where's my girl? Where's my girl? And they were like, I don't think that's a good idea. You should not be walking through that crowd.
Right.
Like they literally were just like, no. After what has happened on stage, we cannot stop you, but we highly, they're like begging me, please don't go. Because I could see like the sweat drop on her face, like being like, oh, I don't like, if he says yes, I can't deny him, but I don't want to deal with like the consequence of it happening.
Right.
Because actually, like, so on the second day, right? So on the Sunday, we were hanging out at one of the bars. It was like the Novotel, which is like far enough from the convention that, you know, it's like not too many people there, but close enough that you can walk to and from the convention, right?
Right.
So I was hanging out there with a few of my mates on like the Sunday, and it was like everyone was still in the convention, so it was like pretty dead. And so you guys had your signings. So I wanted to meet you guys in like the green room or whatever. And so once the con ends, your guys are signing in, so I'm like, great, let's go meet up. And I said, oh, okay, I'll go to the hotel that we were staying at, which is on the which we had to go to the other side of the convention. And I remember going out with my mate to see the optimal path, right, to walk to the hotel that we're going to. And what it felt like, I walk outside and everyone started to go outside to like the big grassy area because the convention's over now. So you just see like this massive crowd. And what it felt like is, you know, like in that fucking zombie movie where they're on the roof, where they're on like the roof of the mall and they have to get like the food and they see like the crowd of zombies that they have to walk through.
It's literally like the opening scene to Dead Rising.
Yeah. That's what it felt like, because I'm just like, okay, let me plan on my route. What's the most optimal route I can walk without like, what's the least possibility I can be stopped?
Grab the bench. Like, stop swinging. It's like, out of the way.
I get my baseball bat out. It's just fucking Shaun of the Dead or something.
My God, yeah. I mean, you know, like, a lot of things happened this weekend, but I think all in all, it was a positive experience, I'd say. This episode is sponsored by ExpressVPN.
Guys, how much time do you spend on your phone nowadays?
All the time.
And what do you guys do on your phone?
Just browse on the web.
The scary part is that your phone carrier collects all the data on whatever you're doing. Verizon even admitted it.
Oh, God.
They say it's so that you can get a better understanding of your interest. But really, all they want to do is sell your activities to advertisers. The more they can get on you, the larger their paycheck becomes, which is why I use ExpressVPN.
ExpressVPN is the app that prevents your phone carrier from being able to see the sites you visit and sell it off to third parties. All it takes is one tap of a button and all of your network data gets encrypted and rerouted through ExpressVPN's secure servers for ultimate privacy. Not only does it shield your web browsing, ExpressVPN protects all of your network data so you can stay private even when using your favorite apps. And the best part is one subscription can be used for up to 5 devices at the same time. I have my whole family using ExpressVPN. I don't have a family, but if I did, they would all be on ExpressVPN.
Take back your online privacy today, ladies and gentlemen, by using expressvpn.com/trashtaste. That's expressvpn.com/trashtaste. Links in the description below. Back to the episode.
It was cool and weird having bodyguards. We got bodyguards on the last day.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Obviously,
That's
what happened on Saturday, which is the main panel, and Garnt getting shot by a Nerf gun and stuff.
Yeah.
They kind of were like, all right, we will step this up a lot. And then they went like, props to
Above
MCM
and
for doing
beyond.
it.
Yeah,
We had like
beyond.
like 4 fucking bodyguards with us. It was so I felt excessive, but I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Had a really nice guy who would just was really chill and would speak to me, and then it was really strange going in the toilet and just coming out of the toilet, and he's just like waiting for me, and I'm like, okay, this is weird, but it makes sense. It was cool. He was very professional. I see why. People don't mind having one because I thought it was going to be really overbearing having someone like behind you.
Yeah.
But he was really nice. He just kind of like stood back and whenever he felt anything was happening, he'd just kind of introduce himself. Or not, he would just kind of step up a little bit. Yeah, it was really good. I mean, it was nice. I mean, definitely we learned that we have to get it now for AX, I guess.
AX and like future conventions that we're going to. I mean, this like I said, this is like our first convention since starting Trash Taste, and now we know this is like set the precedents.
That word's really giving you a lot of trouble.
It is.
The president, Mr. President.
Set the standard for us. Is what I'm saying.
definitely.
Yeah.
But I mean, I still had a great time actually.
No, it was awesome. Like I said, everyone was super nice. Like getting to see people after so long has been like crazy.
Yeah.
Just reminding you that great people exist.
Yeah, man.
Just like seeing everyone, seeing like the gifts that we've been given as well.
So many fucking talented artists and stuff as well.
Yeah. I think my favorite gift that was given like to all of us actually was there was this wooden Trash Taste plaque, and it was like perfectly crafted. I'm just like, there was such great craftsmanships on it. I'm like, oh, this looks amazing. And I remember like gawping at it with Joey, and just like we were just like admiring like the craftsmanship, and then we turn it around and it just says lick my balls.
And we're both just like,
he got gone. Someone gave me these cards and I found them in my pocket earlier, and it just says Hamon, Lord of Striking Thunder.
oh yeah, there's the Yu-Gi-Oh cards, right?
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't know there's Hamon in Yu-Gi-Oh.
Yeah, there is, yeah.
Why is there Hamon in Yu-Gi-Oh?
I don't know.
This one, there's Raviel, Lord of Phantasms. I didn't really understand why that one was relevant to me.
I think Hamon is my one, actually.
What?
I don't
You
know
have
why you
Hamon?
have it, yeah.
The fuck?
Yeah, I was given Hamon.
I want Hamon, dude.
Yeah.
Someone just give me a Yu-Gi-Oh card. I don't know. I mean, I had it in my pocket.
I think they gave one for Garnt as well, but it must be in the bag of stuff.
Yeah, I guess so. Wow, that's cool.
Yeah.
So thank you to everyone who showed up and like gave gifts and signing and the panel and all that. It was really, really cool.
Yeah.
Really cool.
Would you guys think about getting like masks to wear for like future conventions and stuff like that? A better disguise than what you had?
No, that was a solid disguise, dude.
No, do you want to talk about the disguise you were thinking of
Okay. You know what? Like after seeing what happened on the second day, I call up my mates and who was on like the floor, and like I was like, can you buy me a mask? Because I want to see if like the mask works.
Like a full
face
mask, right? And so they buy me a mask. I'm not going to say what it is in case I end up using it for future conventions, but they buy me a mask of a character. Yeah. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah.
And so we go to the bar afterwards, they bring me the masks, and I try it on in front of Joey. And I'm like, Joey, does this mask work at all? Can you tell it's me? And the first thing Joey says is like, you ain't tricking anyone, man.
No, because like it's like the mask just covers the face, right?
Why
because Garnt's hair stands up. It's just Garnt's hair above it. Like you can tell from like if you are aware of what Garnt's hair looks like, it's so freaking obvious. I'm like, yep, that's Garnt. Yeah, because like I knew that wasn't gonna work because back in AX 2018, 2019, whichever the last one was, Aki and I tried to do the same thing. Right. But like we had like we didn't even have like a face mask. We had like a full covering the head, like balaclava style like mask. And we were both wearing that. We're like, we're gonna get away with this. They'll never freaking know. And we were walking from the hotel to the convention, which was like a 2-3 minute walk. And as soon as I got out of the hotel, someone was like, "Hey, Joey." I was just like, "Fucker, damn it!" So
My perfect disguise.
Immediately gave up.
Yeah,
so I don't think it's gonna work. That's why I was laughing my ass up when Connor was like, "They'll never know it's me."
I didn't expect it to work. I was like, it'll just buy me enough time.
You might as well have just had a sign that says, "I am Connor" from Trash Taste.
just like a sign that says, "I am not Connor."
I am not Connor.
I'll do that. Yeah, sure. We'll get a giant fucking like one of those pizza flipping sign things. I'll be like,
I'm not Connor.
Arrow here. That's like, I am not Connor.
No, because like I actually did try it on the Sunday, and it worked for a bit. Actually, it worked because like people definitely recognized me. Like as I was walking around the convention, people definitely recognized me. But it wasn't like the Connor strap, or what Connor wanted to do, which was it bought you enough time that they didn't like you didn't get stopped immediately. But I could see like every like fifth person I walked past, they did like the double take. They did like the double take. They would walk past and then like something would click and then they just
like is that?
Yeah.
Who was that guy?
Yeah. Who is that guy? I felt a disturbance in the force for a second there, but like that bought me enough time to be like, okay, they've looked around and I'm already like. Or like enough the way down.
Yeah.
So it definitely didn't hide my identity, but it made people like not immediately
not
recognize
run
me.
up from a distance.
Yeah. And I think like as long as you don't stop in one place for too long, then it's useful.
But the problem with that is that like, you know, if you have that particular mask on, for instance, then the word is going to spread. So it's so the guy in that mask, that's gone, right? And then it just doesn't work anymore, right? Because it's like now they're just looking for the guy in that mask. So it's like it's a one-trick pony.
Yeah, exactly. You got to get like a new mask for like every day or like every fucking convention or something.
God.
Yeah. Because I did see like a couple of like people I knew, like YouTubers and stuff, who were like going in cosplay and stuff like that, and I'm like, okay, like that's smart because you're in a full cosplay type of thing,
exactly.
Right? So it's not just like covering the head type of thing. So like, but like in saying that, am I bothered to get like a full body cosplay to like walk around? No, I'm not.
Too hot.
Yeah,
it is. It's too hot.
Speaking of cosplay, though, my God, Genshin has like taken over this year.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Like every third cosplayer I saw was a Genshin character.
Yeah. Like because normally like I remember like the AnimeCon experiences, like one or two characters would completely take over. Now it was just like the entire cast of Genshin. You know,
there was a lot of Genshin. I didn't realize that it was that popular.
Yeah, because I remember in like 2018, 2019, I think the big thing, at least for people who came up to my signing, was like Nekopara characters. And I think I saw like two Nekopara characters today, and I was like, oh, okay. Well,
Nekopara was that big?
Yeah, I mean, there was a lot. I mean, because, you know, it's so easy to cosplay, right?
Yeah,
and it's like, and there's so many variations, so like it's very easy for a lot of people to cosplay it. But yeah, like now it's just like Genshin or Demon Slayer or
I saw a lot of Demon Slayer.
Yeah. I was expecting that.
I was expecting Demon Slayer.
A lot of Jujutsu Kaisen as well.
Yeah,
that was like the big three that I saw.
It's not mid.
Because it's not mid.
It's not mid.
Yeah, but like I like my mates were telling me that like the Genshin line or the line to buy Genshin merch was like by far like the longest line.
I didn't even know they were selling Genshin.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm just like, well, this is the closest any fucking Genshin fan is going to get to buying actual real merch, you know?
but there was one part of me that was like, oh man, there's like so many like Genshin characters, you know, being cosplayed, and it's like, oh yeah, there's like a new era of like cosplaying in at cons. But the one thing where I was like, oh yeah, this will never change is people coming up to me making me sign death notes.
Oh, yeah.
I was like that is a piece of con culture that will probably never go away.
That will never
go away. And I'm like, all right, that's familiar right there. Yeah.
Fuck, I just remembered that happened to me as well. Yeah,
I probably signed like 10 or 20 death notes during this week, and I was like, all right, that's one piece of like con culture I'm glad will never go away.
It's gotten to the point where like I know the notebook now when I get given it, right? Because they make it like you always get like the death note, and then they make you sign it, and then they like close the cover, and they're like staring at you. You know, they're like, "Ha, what do you think?" And I'm just like, haha, you got me.
Yeah, the pages are very noticeable.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, I don't know, not full.
Like, I don't even have to like flip the cover anymore to see what I'm signing. I'm just like, yeah, that's Death Note.
Are you superstitious about it? I know some people don't sign Death Notes because they're like, oh, what if I actually do
What?
that?
Who?
I've met some people who don't sign them.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
Because like, are you wishing me to die or something? That's fucked up.
No, I don't care.
I mean, like, I also another thing is like, there's a lot of people that try to get you in like D's nut strokes nowadays as well. Of course, that's the new like Death Note like trick now.
Yeah. It's like I had a couple of people being like, "Oh, can you sign this for my friend? He couldn't be here because he had ligma." And I was just like, and I'm like this close to being like, "Oh, I'm sorry for your friend," and I had to stop myself being like, "I was like."
Yeah, I think this guy tried it on all three of us. And I think I was first, and I just was like, all right, nice. It's like ligma, okay, wow. I was like, come on, man. Do you really think that's gonna fucking work? Come and find something
Although
creative.
I must say that the dude who found that restaurant in London, which was called Secondis.
Yeah.
I think that was.
I was like, all right, you deserve it.
That's like a D's nuts joke that had effort put into it. I respect that. Yeah, because he got us like these like Indian, or I think like
It's Indian nuts or something.
Yeah, it was like a snack that was made out of nuts. So it was like, oh, I got you some nuts from Secondis, and I was like, okay, that's kind of funny. That was really funny.
It's like, I'll take it. I
was like, you know what? I respect the creativity. I'll take that. Yeah.
What were some other gifts that you guys got? Was there anything that stood out?
Oh, there was one actually. We got it yesterday, but there was this artist guy who gave us this like poster, and he's like a mecha artist,
right?
And he made this like
maybe it's on screen.
Maybe it's on screen. I don't know, but like he made this like trash taste mecha. Essentially.
Oh my god!
Yeah, and it's like full on. Like I mean,
really
you saw it. Like it looked
really
freaking amazing. It was like kind of a cross between a Gundam and an Ava type of thing, but it was like it had like the trash taste purple on it, and it looked really freaking cool. And he was like, "Yeah, I did it in 2 days," and I was like, "What the hell?" I wish I could do that.
It was really nice.
I really wanted to give it to Alan because I know he's like a massive maker head.
Yeah.
So I've like held on to it, so I'll give it to Alan.
That's really cool.
But
I
like there was just like so many cool like just I don't know really like talented people. Like a girl gave me like a ring that she had like made as well.
Oh, that's
like,
so cool.
Yeah. And I don't know. It's like it's obviously, like, pieces of fan art and stuff like that is like amazing as well, and like we've kept all of it, obviously. But
I got like a custom Pokemon card for mine and Sydney's wedding. It was like
really?
made. It was like proper metal and everything. And
Oh,
I was
cool.
like, that was
That's
like
pretty fucking cool.
That was one of the coolest gifts I've ever seen. So.
I remember there was a guy who came to my signing on the Friday, and he made me sign like a holo Yu-Gi-Oh card, and I was like, oh, that's really cool. I haven't seen that in a long time.
Yeah.
He came back on the Sunday to give me the card.
Oh,
like in film like
What
this.
the fuck?
And I was just like, I like scoured all over the con to like find it for you.
Yeah,
and it like came back on the Sunday to like give it to me, and I was
Yeah.
just like, "You the G, bro. You the G."
Give me a limited edition first Charizard, please.
Yeah.
I would like one.
Did you get a masterpiece?
No, so yeah, the guy, I was really disappointed. He brought out a copy of Masterpiece.
Right.
Which is like...
The hentai.
Yeah, the hentai.
Yeah.
Like it was like the full Dojin colored.
Right.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my God. And I was like, he said, yeah, sign it for me. And I'm like, can I have it? And he was like, no. And I was like, hey, I got to shoot my shot.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, you got this for me?
Yeah.
It was like a joke.
Sign it, bitch.
I was like joking with him. I'm like, you got this for me, right? And he was like, no. And I'm like, I think you got it for me. And there's this poor guy behind me. So we had like, obviously you have like a handler at a con. Basically the handler's job is to just kind of get you to where you need to go and also help with the signings, kind of help with the flow.
Yeah.
And he was like this normal British dude who just like, he was talking to me about football and stuff, and I pretended like I understood what was going on. And I take out this masterpiece to sign it, and I just open it up, and I'm like, nice. And he's like, whoa. Whoa. And I'm like, oh yeah, this is not normal. This is not a normal thing to open and just admire right now. And so I closed it, and I was like, oh, he was like, wow, that was intense, wasn't it? I was like, oh yeah. Weirdo, eh? Weirdo.
Yeah, so
freak.
No, I totally just like bought into it because like my handler who was next to me, she was just like, oh yeah, you've like signed some pretty weird things, and I'm like, you haven't seen anything yet. And then literally as I said that, some dude was like, can I get you to sign something that's like very questionable? And I was like, all right, here we go. And he pulls out like a Sasuke x Naruto like yaoi dojo.
I signed that as well.
And he was like, And I was like, where do you want me to sign it? Like on the cover and stuff like that? And he's like, no, open it up and find the most fucked up page to sign it on. And I was like, I don't want to open this in front of my handler being like, oh, I wonder where's the most fucked up scene. And then I did find the most fucked up scene. And I was like, all right, I'll go right there. And she was just like, all right, no judging. You know what?
Yeah.
If these are your fans, I guess, you know? And I was like, yeah.
I remember, like, I had a similar experience because, okay, we've talked a lot about MCM. I would say, like, the signing experience was, like, the smoothest signing experience I've ever had.
Yeah, definitely.
At any convention. Like, they had this shit on lockdown. Like, it was, like, in and out, you know. Take your stuff. They gave us, like, a post note of, like, what they wanted us to sign, what the person's name was. It was, like, excellent.
It was so streamlined.
Yeah, it was so streamlined. I remember the first sus one that I got was it was a manga called I think Dick Fight Island or something.
Yeah.
I think I remember that.
It was Dick Fight Island, and I was just like, oh, what's this? And he was like, oh, Sydney recommended it, and I was just like, that sounds like a Sydney recommendation. And he just goes off on he just starts going off on the entire synopsis of Dick Fight Island, which is apparently just a bunch of dudes on an island and they fight with their dicks. That's what I'm guessing is it, but he goes into it in such graphic detail. Right. And so I'm like, yeah, that sounds like a really, really interesting story. I sign it. He goes away. And we had a little 5-minute breather, and my handler goes to me, so what do you do?
It's a long story.
I'm like, how do I explain this? You know,
you should have just been like, yes, I'm the author of Dick Fight Island.
Oh, you know what? Actually, I got someone came up to me who was like, this is a reference, I guess, to anyone who has watched this episode of Trash Taste. He was like, oh man, I love your work, and then he just gives me a copy of Goblin Slayer. And I was like, yeah. And he was like, oh, can you sign it? And I was like, yeah, dude, let's do it. So I signed a Goblin Slayer.
Oh, my God.
Hell yeah.
Oh, God, that was interesting. Yeah, I mean, it was a lot of normal things. Everyone's like, bro, everyone thinks that, they're going to hand you the weirdest thing. They're like, oh I'm gonna show you something really out there. Yeah. And it's like, all right, I've signed everything.
And I love how it's those people who are always like, oh, I'm sorry, you've never signed anything this weird. And I was just like, I have no idea.
This is baby mode right now.
This is baby mode, dude.
So, did anything else notable happen to you at the convention?
I don't know. Did anything? I mean, I got to see a lot of people I haven't seen in years, which was nice.
Did you guys get recognized anywhere at a weird place that was not in the convention?
Oh, I got because the hotel they put us in was literally the con hotel.
Yeah.
So anyone who's going to the con was staying in this hotel.
Yeah.
And I'm in the elevator, lift. Wow,
you've changed.
I've changed. So I come out of the lift, right? And there's this guy, and he's like, oh, wow, you're CDawg, right? And I'm like, yeah, hi, what's up? And he's like, yo, can I have a picture? And I'm like, yeah, sure, let's do it.
Yeah.
So I'm taking a picture with this guy, and he's trying to get his phone ready, and he's giving his stuff to his girlfriend or whoever this is.
Yeah.
And his girlfriend's like, who is this guy?
Yeah.
And he was like, yo, it's CDawg. And she's like, all right. And he's like, yeah, I used to watch his videos.
So it's such a backhanded compliment.
Bruh, that's a bro moment.
That's a bro moment.
And I he said this to her and looked at me and just smiled, ready for the picture. And I'm like, what the fuck?
Unravel starts playing. Yeah. I used to watch his pictures.
I was like, what the fuck, dude?
Were you just what happened?
Yeah. I get it. Maybe you get busy and stuff. But you say that later. Wait, why are you going to say it to my face?
That's
kind of did you just get L plus ratio plus fell off in IRL?
Yeah, this guy was I used to watch his videos, and he just smiled at me, and I was like, what, bro? What do you mean used to?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I guess one notable thing was the panel that we had on Sunday. How
did that go? Because I wasn't there.
Yeah, so it was kind of so the Saturday panel was kind of like a Q&A type of thing, right?
Yeah,
so it was there was a microphone in the crowd, people could come up and ask the questions and we'd answer it type of thing. But the Sunday one, it was the title of it was A Conversation with the Anime Man CDawgZVA. Yeah. So we structured it kind of it was me and Connor on the stage, and then we kind of had an MC type of thing. who was there to navigate and ask like general questions to like get a flow of conversation going.
Right.
And because we asked this MC guy, who was a great MC, mind you, but it was very last minute, right?
Yeah,
and he
yeah,
obviously didn't know who me and Connor were, what we do, right? Like he only knew like a very baseline information.
Yeah.
So you know, obviously a lot of the questions were like very general. But then, then there was one question. It was like something along the lines of like, yeah, so I was an MCing for your wife, Sid Snap, and he was like looking straight at me, and I was like, and I looked at Connor, and you know, we kind of like met eyes, and I looked back at the MC. I was like, could you repeat that? And it was like, yeah, your fiance and wife, Sydney or Sid Snap. Yeah, she was telling me all these stories about how planning for the wedding and all that kind of stuff. And I was like, and there was a murmur happening in the crowd, and I was like, and I just like slowly pulled my hand out, and I was like, "I'm Joey, by the way. Nice to meet you." And it's like, "No, you're Grant or Garnt, right?" And I was like, "Is this really happening? Is accidental racism happening live on stage right now?" And I think people in the crowd were kind of like, yeah, funny bit.
Yeah.
Got nice execution, nice landing, guys." And meanwhile, I'm just like, this motherfucker literally confused me with what? All Asians look the same now? Is that how it is?
Congratulations on getting married to Sydney, by the way.
Thank you. Yeah.
Hope the wedding goes well.
I've been planning it for a while now. You know how it is. So, and I think Alan said it best last night. He was like, "Wow, I can't believe he confused the anime zone with the anime man."
Easy mistake,
easy mistake. When you put it that way, fair enough. Like,
none of you are watching anime, right?
You're the one that still watches anime, right?
I could sympathize with him. He kind of got dragged to do it last minute,
and I could tell when and he was like trying to double down on it.
That was the thing where I was like, no, come on, dude. He was like, no, I'm sure it was something. I'm like, no, come on, just move on, dude.
And then there was a moment during the panel where people in the crowd started to laugh when he doubled down and it just like wouldn't land, and he just like put both his hands in his face, and he was just like, oh no, I've made a horrible mistake. And I was like, no,
so
don't
bad.
worry, man, it's fine. It was funny. It was funny and harmless, and great story for the podcast. So I was like, it's whatever. Yeah, but other than that,
why are you Garnt? You are Garnt.
I am not Garnt. You are Garnt. Why are you Garnt? Yeah, but that was an interesting.
I got some I got recognized in some interesting place. Oh, what one funny thing that happened actually was I got recognized by someone and got took a picture with them, and they were like, "You're not gonna believe this. I saw the most convincing Sydney lookalike I've ever seen in my life." Okay, and I'm like, "Oh, okay. Let me see this. What's like? I want to see if there's my wife lookalike." And so he's always funny. Like excitedly, gets out his phone, puts the picture on, starts swiping furiously, and he goes, "Look at that. Does that not look like Sydney?" And it's him standing next to Sydney. And I'm
pretty damn good looking.
Yeah. And I'm just like, my God, I think that's just Sydney. And he's like, no, let me show you another picture. So he shows me a full body shot of Sydney. And I'm like, no, I think you are just got a picture of Sydney.
I want to know what Sydney looks like in this guy's head, like the real Sydney, what he looks like in this guy's head.
How did he take a picture of Sydney and explain it to her?
No, because what he explained to me was, no, you don't understand. I asked her if she was Sid Snap, and she said no.
What? Why?
Because Sydney, being the troll that she is, sometimes she's like, "Are you Sydney?" And she's like, "No." And so this guy's like, "Can we take a picture? Just so you know, I just gotta. You look so much like Sydney. I just need to take a picture." So Sydney takes.
I can't believe he's convinced by that. It's like, well, I guess she's not that.
Yeah, she's like, so what he was saying was he's told me, yeah, she looked like Sydney.
Yeah.
And she sounded like Sydney. But she told me she wasn't Sydney.
So this British dude thought there was an American Sydney lookalike in London.
I think he thought she must have been cosplaying Sydney.
It's like, that's a wig, right? That's not your real hair.
You say
can't
it's your
believe-
girl.
I can't believe Sydney like committed to this like hard.
And like, I remember because like I was with a friend and I was like, because we were outside a hotel and I was just like, because he like refused to believe me that he was like Sydney. So I'm like, can you like, I turned to my friend like, can you go get Sydney please? And he's just like, he was just like so like shell shocked. Like it was like speech 100. You know, Sydney was just like, Sydney had like convinced him that she just was not Sydney by saying one line that I am not Sid Snap. And then like, so my friend gets Sydney and the first thing she says is, you stupid motherfucker.
Debated.
Debated.
I love how all it took for Sydney to get away from that situation was her just saying no. Meanwhile, this guy's in a full fucking like disguise and he can't get away with it at all.
Maybe I should have just, you know, been
You should have just been
no,
like, are you CDawg? He's like, nah.
No, I'm not.
I was like, oh, well, fuck, I guess not. Yeah.
Oh, I love your videos. Who?
Who was?
I don't watch YouTube.
They did it again. What the fuck?
Well, I mean, to be fair, you weren't CDawg that weekend. You were CDawgs.
One of my favorite pictures of that entire weekend was just your like face of just confusion in front of your picture, and it's
It
just,
wasn't even like me pulling a face. I was just walking.
Yeah, he was
And
literally
Jerry
just
got the
walking, and I just
picture.
like took a candid shot of Connor just being like, in front of a sign that said CDawgZVA.
because it just looked like your face just looked like you were just like gone through like
you wanna- do you wanna-
the end of the universe.
Do you
or
want to
something.
explain what's happened? Because you
Okay,
haven't
so
explained what this is.
so at the signing, right? We had like a dedicated section for our signing. You know, there was a picture of all three of us that said Trash Taste, and then there was individual photos of like the Anime Man, Gig, and then next to that there was a picture of Connor, but it's instead of saying CDawgZVA, it said CDawgs with a Z VA. And I remember I like, you know, I was admiring, you know, the posters being like, oh yeah, you know, we look sick in these, and then I did a double take with Connor. I was like, see what? I don't know a CDawgZVA.
Me neither.
And I was just like,
them.
Connor, you should change your name to CDawgZVA. It looks so sick.
And then it was that, and then we come in the next day, and it's just like blacked out with marker, and I laughed even harder.
It was the most like inconspicuous, like then pretend that never happened.
They fixed it. They fixed it eventually. I just kind of felt like, I was like, I don't care. But everyone kept coming out to me like, wow, you must be so offended. I'm like, why would I give a shit?
Yeah.
I mean, I've had that happen before.
Yeah. I've had
I was just like, I don't really care. It's not like I'm suddenly now like a different person. It's not like a file location where if you type in the wrong thing, it's like .cdawg.exe is missing. It's like I'm still here. Like
at least you know the large majority of your name was still there and intact. Like I've been to a convention where they had a sign up and it said the anime guy.
Yeah.
So I'm just like that's just a completely different person.
they must have done that on purpose to fuck with you.
No, they weren't. They genuinely thought I was the anime guy, and I didn't have the heart to tell them at the time.
Another timeline.
I was just all right, you know what? It's good enough. Fuck it.
Yeah, for me, like every convention I go to, it's like a 50-50 chance of whether it be Giguck or Gig UK. That is like, I swear, half the conventions I go to is just Gig UK, unfortunately.
I guess it's our fault for having confusing names.
You're in London. It should have been Gig UK.
Yeah, makes sense, right? Makes sense.
It's when we go to like Australia, it'll be Gig AUS, right?
Gig AZ.
Or just Gig US and like
US.
Gig US in America. But yeah, like another thing like I noticed is just like every time you hang out with your mates or you're with somewhere where you think you're private, it's just like if someone mentions that wouldn't this be a funny time for you to get noticed, it is like the worst fucking it's like summoning the devil, you know. It is going to happen. So because that happened to me. Well, it happened to me indirectly, right? Because so we were outside a hotel and we were just chilling out there. It was pretty late at night. It was about 1 a.m. And we see this guy just stumble over to like the tree, and he just starts throwing up, right? And and we were just like, "Fuck, who is he all right?" He's obviously not in the right state of mind. I don't know where his mates are. So we go over to him, and he's obviously had too many drinks that night. And unfortunately, he didn't know where his mates were. Which, if you're watching this, guy, if you're watching this and you happen to be a Trash Taste watcher, get better mates.
Yeah.
Like you
Honestly.
you don't leave your mates out. You don't leave your mates out like that,
exactly.
right?
That's quite fucked up.
Yeah. So it was by the tree. Luckily, some guys, some like a father had found him and was trying to make sure that he was okay. And so we went over and started to help out as well, just to make sure that he was kosher and everything, making sure that
he was all right.
He was all right. He was going to get home. So we managed to contact his sister. And keep in mind, this is like 1 a.m., 2 a.m., like he's just out here in the middle of London, and she was like, I believe, like on the other side of London or something. And we were just like, can you come pick your brother up? And, being the Giga Chad sister that she was, she's like, yeah, just tell me where she is. Just let me get there now. I'll come bring him home.
Right.
So we were with him for like a good, half hour to 45 minutes, making sure he was okay, making sure he was warm, make sure he wasn't too passed out, and just hopefully being a good Samaritan while waiting for this mythical sister to come.
Being a good replacement for the shit mates that
has, right. And so we're with him for half an hour to 45 minutes, and then I go into the toilet quickly, and then as I come outside, apparently when I was in the toilet, this mythical sister comes, right? And she's just like, oh, thank you so much for taking care of my brother. I'm so sorry. I don't know what's happened to his mates. I don't know what's happened to him. I'll make sure he gets home okay. And then like the next line, which is the line I heard as I was walking out as I was walking out the door to go outside again was, by the way, did you guys see the Trash Chase Boys in MCM today?
The sister said this.
Yeah. The sister said this, right? It was my mates told me it was like sitcom level timing.
Right.
She was like so compassionate, and then she was just trying to make conversation. Yeah. And then she just mentioned, did you guys manage to see the Trash Chase Boys?
And then were you just like slowly back inside?
No. And then like the automatic doors open, and then everyone looks at me, and she just goes, no. No. You?
Wait, you were on the phone with her, right?
No, I wasn't on the phone, but I wasn't on the phone with her. It was someone else on the phone. But they had mentioned that we had a bunch of guys taking care of her brother, and I was like the guy who was just like chatting to him, trying to know what the fuck happened to him tonight, and make sure he felt comfortable with that shit. And he's just like, you were taking care of him, you, and I was just like, are you the sister? Are you the mythical sister? I'm just like, yes. Oh, wow. And I was like, first I said, yo, thank you so much for being fucking amazing. And she's like, I could tell like she was like trying to hold in her excitement. Oh, wow. And then she pauses for a second. She looks at her brother, dead on the floor, and she's like, I know this is a bad time, but is it cool if I ask for a picture?
No.
And I'm just like,
it doesn't even sound real, dude.
And 100% it happened. And I'm just like, look, you were like such a fucking Giga Chad for coming all the way out here like 1 a.m. Luckily we had other people to take care of her brother. But just like, we take a quick picture, she goes home, and everyone's safe.
Please tell me the brother was in the shot, like just like in the background, like it's like that meme picture of the guy like leaning towards the grave and like doing that, except it's like the brother that's just like dead on the floor, like.
It doesn't even sound real. It sounds so like in betweeners as.
It was like so surreal. It was like one of the funniest things that happened to me that weekend. But yes, it's just like sometimes you just have like really weird coincidences and weird timings with shit, man. You can
that is like the words you must never utter at a con. Like, what if? Hilarious, right? And then almost every single time it's like, oh hey, from a distance,
Yeah, right.
For fuck's sake. Where's the canned laugh?
Yeah. Where's the live audience?
Oh my god.
Yeah, like aside from MCM though, I mean, how is your guys' experience being back in the UK now? I mean, this is your second time in the UK. I don't know if
only my second time,
Yeah, I don't know if you had a lot of chance to explore England outside.
No, we've been in like, because the MCM in London is kind of out of the way, so we've kind of been just kind of contained there.
Right. And like the first time I was around, I think in like 2017, 2018, whenever it was, like I was mostly in Brighton at Garnt's place, right? So I think I was only in London for maybe like a day
Yeah.
or so. So I think this will be like my first proper time kind of like getting to check it out. And I've already seen way more of London than I ever did last time.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's been nice. It's been chill. I mean,
Yeah.
the weather's been fucking fantastic this weekend as well, which is great because like everyone was like, oh yeah. When I tweeted about like, oh yeah, you know, I'm landing in London soon. Haha, it's going to be sick. And everyone was just like, weather's going to be shit. Shit weather. Expect the shit weather.
It's been really good.
Yeah, and I landed and I was just like,
Brought out the red carpet.
this is shit weather to you guys?
Literally, I remember the first day meeting you, it was like, you couldn't ask for like better weather. It was literally clear skies.
Yeah.
It was clear blue
skies. It was like
skies.
warm, like not too hot, like nice and toasty, bright, you know, perfect sunglasses, like having a coffee outside type of weather.
Yeah.
And everyone was like, yo, shit weather. Shit weather. I was like, oh man, you guys get it good here. Apparently, though, it was just like an absolute fluke. Like, everyone was like, damn, it's actually good weather here. Jesus.
Yeah.
I think around this time of year, it's okay though.
Yeah.
This is a pretty good time to come.
Because
to
the last time I was in the UK, it was like the biggest heat wave in like 30 years.
It's like
or
every
whatever
year.
it was.
It's the biggest heat wave every fucking year.
Yeah.
We get 1 week, or in your case, it was like the 1 month of just...
That was really fucking hot that time.
Like holy shit, like the heat wave in the UK, we are not built for it.
And I was just like, where's the AC? Where's the AC?
We don't have any.
Yeah.
No. I mean, it's been good so far. I haven't really done anything. Oh God, I had that really awkward interaction at the hotel. That was really like levels of awkwardness.
What interaction? Which one?
Well, so we were in the hotel bar just talking to all our friends. You know, because it's the Sunday, it's after the con's ended, everyone's just chilling, we're all just hanging out, saying bye to all our friends. And this person was like pretty chill at first, and like they would kind of come up and be like, "Oh, hi, you know, do you want a drink or anything?" And I was like, "No, it's okay, it's okay."
Yeah.
You know, got my friend to buy me a drink instead, and take their money. No. Yeah, and then they were kind of like just kept kind of, you know, kept saying hi, which is fine. Like, it's chill because people do it all the time, and it's like whatever.
They're probably a couple of drinks deep, right?
Yeah.
If someone's having a bunch of drinks, enjoying themselves, they want to be like, oh my God, hi, you're there. It's like, whatever, I don't mind that.
Yeah.
But I noticed that like whenever we would like, if I went outside or like any of you guys went outside, they would like kind of like also then happen to go outside at the same time and just listen to whatever you were talking about. And then, you know, I'd go to the toilet and then suddenly, okay, they were in the toilet as well. And I was like, okay, this is like, all right, a little sus, but like nothing happened. So I was like, all right, cool. Let's chill.
It's kind of like tailgating a little bit, right?
Yeah, it was just kind of like watching, I guess, which is like, obviously it's like not ideal, but it's nothing bad. Like I'm not all right, whatever. But then like you guys went to bed and there was only like maybe like 6 of us left. We were chilling.
Yeah.
And there was like 2 couches and there was like an empty space because obviously, you know, you guys gone to bed and stuff. And they came over and they were like, hey, do you mind if I like take that seat? It was like 1 a.m. so it's kind of winding down.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, I mean, I don't really think that's like appropriate because like no one really knows you. You only really know me. And like, you know, it's kind of weird and stuff. And they were like, oh, okay. Well, do you mind if I just introduce myself to everyone then? And I was like, so I was like, yeah, no, I don't think that's like the best. I think you know, it's, you know, I appreciate it, but like no, it makes us a bit uncomfortable.
Like the good intention is there, but they clearly didn't quite read the.
Yeah, I was trying to be like as like polite, but like no as possible, right? Because like, you know, at the end of the day, like there's still somebody who, even though I guess some people would be like, no, you have the permission to be like fuck off at that point. Because people say that, and I'm like, I still don't want to do that. Like to me, it's like they're still a person.
I don't want to be that guy. Right?
They shooted their shot and it didn't work, and they should have just given up at that point. But then after I said that again, I was like, no, I don't think that's. Come on, man, like no. It just kind of like stood there awkwardly, just like looking at us, and then it was just kind of like. All my friends are just looking at me like, and I was like, yeah,
please do something.
And I'm like, okay, all right, man, bye.
Yeah,
wouldn't leave, and then one of our friends just goes, "What the fuck did he say?" He was like, "Just please leave us alone." Like he was begging, like in like a pleading way. He was like, "Please just leave us alone.
Please
just leave us alone."
I think I know who. I think I can guess who that is.
I think it was in such a like desperate way that the person was like, "Yeah, sorry." And I was like, "Oh no!" But that was really funny the way he said that. That was really
Please leave us alone. Please leave us alone.
Yeah, I mean, you know, when you hang out at the bar at the convention in the convention hotel, this shit's gonna happen. Yeah. Like if we really wanted to go somewhere else and like avoid this shit, 100%, we could have, right? But like we just wanted the convenience. We were all staying in that hotel. It's chill. So like when people do shit like that, I know people get like really like, that's fucked up that they did that. And I'm like, it's not ideal, but I'm also like, you know, people get excited, they shoot their shot, they didn't do anything they asked. They didn't just sit down. Because people have done that before. Yeah, people have just fucking pulled up a chair.
Like on the panel, for instance.
Yeah, like people,
I'm glad it's like, I'm glad people can now know that we aren't bullshitting.
No, like, like you can, you have the right, anyone has the right to be like, hey, can I join you? And I have the right to say no and fuck off. Like,
exactly.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm not going to get pissed at someone for trying to shoot their shot. Right? If you want to, whatever.
Yeah.
Is it kind of rude and insensitive to do it? Yeah, it is. But at the same time,
like, respect my privacy.
Yeah,
right?
If you did it respectfully, I'm going to give you the respect to be like, explain it nicely and be like, that's not appropriate. No. And if you don't get it, then maybe one of my friends won't be so nice, but I'll still be nice. But I don't know.
Please just leave us alone.
Yeah, I don't know. It's, you know, I don't know. I just say these stories because it's like it's on my mind. Wanted to talk about it, but I know it's going to happen again. It's not going to be the last time. If you ever see me around and you ask to sit next to me, I'm probably going to say no. 99. No, fuck it. I am going to say no. 99. I'm going to say no probably because I don't know you and it's weird. You know, and
it's like
it's not organic.
Yeah. I think in a convention setting, it's hard to like draw like a comfortable line, you know. Whereas maybe if you meet someone at a bar and you're not with like a massive group of friends or whatever,
it's different. It's different.
Yeah, definitely.
It's very different. It's like you kind of do have to like read the room sometimes, which I know some people aren't as in tune with that as other people, but you know, you try not to hold things against people unless they like seriously do cross like a social boundary, you know. In which case, maybe I should listen to fucking Didus more and just be like, sorry, man.
Man.
Did you use the man technique?
Yeah, did you use the man?
I don't know. I think I just waffled on for 10 minutes just being like, no. Here's another reason why no. Here's another reason why no.
If you would have just said sorry, man, then that would be like, all right, man, I respect it.
I respect. That's what we should have said to that guy who came on stage. Fuck. He was right all along.
I should have just turned and been like, sorry, man.
Sorry, man. This just ain't the place, man.
Nah, man.
There was this one dude that I like. I just didn't like know what his deal was. I was like, we were at the bar with John, and John was talking to me, and I was like, John, man, it sucks, dude. Like, you know. I was like, it kind of sucks.
Super iPad.
Sorry. Fuck, I did it.
You literally just did it. You told Garnt
but we've said John like a million times, right? I said Kevin too.
So many other Johns.
Okay.
Literally such a common name.
I was in my own head. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Okay, that's my bad. I suck, dude. I was telling Super iPatch Wolf, I was like, yeah, man, it sucks, dude. Like, you know, I don't feel like I can't really like experience a con the way I used to. And then while I'm telling this story to John, this guy who must have been like 40 or 50 just shouts full on from across the bar. He's like, hey, Connor, you want a drink? And I'm like, nah, I'm good, man. And John was like, you know that guy? I'm like, not a fucking clue. It's just like, so weird.
I get it because that happened to me a few times on the convention as well.
He was nice enough. He just asked me, and I was like, no, and that was it. That was like
because like they shout your name in such familiarity that even I have to double take to be like, do I know this guy? Do you know what I mean? Do you know what I mean? Yeah, because like a few times when I hang out with mates. Like I'll hear like Garnt, hey Garnt, and I'm just like, oh, it's I've never met this man in my life.
It's like friend of a friend? No.
Okay. Don't offer me a drink. I'm privileged, as you all say. So don't fuck it. I don't need it.
He can buy his own drink.
I'll buy my own one. I promise. I appreciate it though. Yeah. Some people, sometimes it's nice. You know, I had one time I was in London last time. I never told this. There was like someone in like a Mexican restaurant. It was like the thing in the movie. It was like, the person over there wants to buy you a drink. Right. The waiter came over. I was like, this is fucking cool.
Yeah.
yeah, I'll have it. And then he bought me like the strongest drink on the fucking menu. And I was like,
It's like trying to spike.
so yeah,
you.
so then I realized I was like, yeah, I'm not doing this again. I'm not letting them choose the drink.
The weirder one for me is like the ones where it's like just in passing, but you're also like not too sure either because of the lack of information. Like it's the ones where you're like, where you're in the hotel lobby and you're trying to get to the toilet or something, and then a person is walking past you, and you just very briefly have eye contact, and they just go, like, and then they walk off, and I'm just like, do I know? Do I know you? Like this is like some like number 23 shit. It's just like wake up. It's like
Wake up.
That does happen a lot.
It does happen a lot, and I'm just like, and it's not until I turn around, and sometimes they'll turn around and be like, you know, like, hey, love your stuff, or like, you know, it's like, hope you're having a good night and stuff like that. You know, maybe they're just being friendly. I don't know. But it's like, it's just the silent nod. Like, what is this code for something? Like, yeah. But no, it's cool though.
Sorry.
It's cool. Like that's the one thing I guess as well that I've just been like kind of getting back used to again, because it's like, you know, because I personally have been stuck in Japan for the past 3 years now, and it's like stranger friendliness is not as big of a thing as it is, say, in like the UK, right?
Yeah,
so,
yeah,
especially in
exactly.
a con setting. So it's
Yeah,
like I'm
yeah.
just getting used to just random people just being like, hey.
Yeah, we've
on
gone
the
from like,
streets.
I feel like it has been like just us readjusting and reacclimating to con culture, because it's been like we've gone from like 0 to like 200%, you know, in the span of a day, and it's just like I'd forgotten how intense it was before COVID and everything, and now it's like even more intense because COVID's happened, everyone's even more excited and enthusiastic, and also we are way more recognizable, so it's just kind of like all culminated into this massive stirring pot.
I know, like for me, I caught myself being like, oh man, it's been such a long time since I've been to a con, because there's so many times during the signing where, like, you know, because you're meeting so many people, right? You start to get into like a pattern of things to say, right? It's like you start off with the hello, like, how's your con experience been? How's your day been? Whatever. And then there was so many times where like people would be like, I hope you enjoy your time in the UK, and I'll be like, yeah, you too. As if they're not from here, you know?
Well, there was a lot of people actually who are like not from the UK.
Yeah, but it's like clearly, I every time I said you two to that question, it was always the most like British sounding person ever. It's like as if they don't fucking live here. It's like, damn it.
I think I said that a few times, not to that, but like, oh, thanks a lot for your content. And I go, you too.
It's like, how did you know?
Dude, I had it's not a con experience. We got a cab back, me, Joey, and a few other friends, and it was like 41 pounds. This cab ride. So it was like 30 minutes. It was a long time.
Yeah.
And I went to go pay. I gave the guy because I only had like 10, so I gave the guy 50. Right. Yeah. And so in my head, right, I'm like, okay, it's been like 3 years or like since I've been like tipping normally, and I know that sometimes you tip cab drivers in London and stuff, and I was like, okay, I forgot about this because I never took cabs when I lived here before.
Yeah.
Obviously, it was late, and we were in like the middle of nowhere. So I pay this guy, and then he's like, oh yeah, I'll give you the change. Just get out the car, and I'll give you the change. So I get out the car, I'm kind of just tired. It's like 3 a.m. I'm like, bro, I just want to go to bed. Yeah. And so the guy, I was like, all right, so can I have my change? Because the way I tip, I don't know if you do this. I want all my change first, and then I will be like, here's your tip, right?
Yeah.
And so I was like, oh, can I have my change? And he was like, what? He looked at me I asked for change, and then he just looked at me like he wanted me to take it back. Like he wanted me to pretend like I did.
Say sorry.
Yeah, like I was like, bro, what the fuck? Like I was gonna tip him, and then he's being weird about it, and now I want to tip him less because I'm like, just give me my fucking. I'm like, £9 is a lot, right? This is not America. We don't tip 20%. Yeah, right. Like, I was gonna give him like a $5. That was my plan, and then I was like, you're being weird about this, man. Just give me my fucking money back, and I'll give you some back. Like, I was like, what the fuck, dude? And so.
That's not cool.
And so I'm like, all right, yeah. I was like, can I have my change? And then he like looks at me again. I want to say it was the most awkward 5 to 10 seconds of my life.
Right.
Felt like Zawarudo and JoJo. Dude. Like, I could feel the 1 second, 2 second, and I feel like he was trying to figure out if I was drunk. Like
Right.
I was fine, but I felt like he was trying to see if like he was like, can I get away with this? And so he goes into his car, he like rummages around, and he comes out and he just gives me £5, and I'm like, dude, like, all right, okay. Fine, my dude, fine.
He's probably thinking like, maybe if I just give him some money,
I
like he'll shut up.
I was going to
right?
give you the £5 notes. Now you got £4 because you're being a dick.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why just give me my money back and I'll tip you. I was like, what the fuck? And I was just like, what a weird experience.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, the people in the cab were just like vibing. They're like, no, I'm like having like this mind battle with this cab driver to like just tip him. I was trying to give him money and he was making it weird. I was like, why are people like this?
Yeah, everyone else was in the car, just like kind of chatting, and I'm just like, just like dead on the fucking back seat, not knowing that this is happening.
I was just like, bro, okay. And so he got his £4 tip. Joke's on you. You'd have got a £5 tip. You've just given me all my change, dude.
Yeah.
This is just a weird experience you don't get in Japan. You
don't.
Like, they just give you it back immediately, and
Yeah,
you never have to deal with this. And it was just so weird, just seeing the guy just not want to give me my fucking change, and I was just like,
it's like me no speak English.
that's weird.
It's just like, talking about like transport in London, I guess. Like, I guess like there has been like a talk of the town since we got here, because everyone like that I've hung out with can't stop talking about this fucking Elizabeth line that's just fucking opened up.
Yeah, I like heard about it, and it's like some like fancy new line that's like recently opened up. Or something.
Yeah. So apparently it's this line that's been planned for like that was meant to open, I believe, in like
many years ago.
Yeah, like 2020, I believe.
Nothing
was meant to open.
Nothing in the UK ever gets done on time.
Yeah. And then it got delayed, but like the hype was real. Like I thought like I come into London, come into a convention, people would be like, "Oh, have you started watching Spy X Family? Are you watching any new anime?" No, everyone's like, "Yo, you been on the Elizabeth line? Have you been on the Elizabeth line?" Like I haven't yet. I haven't. Yeah. And I swear to God, someone could just like have given birth the day before. I'd be like, "Baby, nah, bruh, Elizabeth line, that's the real hype, man. I gotta try the
real
Elizabeth
shit.
line." Yeah. But like from what I heard, it's just like it's a air-conditioned line, and I'm just like, isn't that just every train in Japan?
And heated seats.
I did notice that actually. It's like the series of questions we got were very different to how the list of questions I would normally get at a signing, right? Because before Trash Days, it was always like, what do you think about this anime? What do you think about this manga? And there was like definitely like, some amounts of those.
Yeah.
But I think the top 3 questions I received during that entire weekend was, number 1 was, have you had a Tesco meal deal yet? Number 2 was, have you been to Greg's yet?
Yes.
And number 3 was, have you been to Spoons yet? It's like nothing to do with anime. It was all just like, have you had these things?
Yeah.
Have you had any of them?
Well, yeah, you took me to a Spoons last time I was here, but apparently you took me to like the worst Spoons.
It was the worst spoons. It was the worst spoon.
Yeah, but no, I still haven't had a Tesco meal deal yet.
I really want a Greg's.
Haven't had a Greg's yet at all. So, I mean, we're here for a little
I've
longer.
forgotten how passionate people are about Greg's.
Yeah.
It's very good.
Greg's is the bakery? Is it?
It's the bakery.
Okay, yeah.
Where you
So
get,
much more than that, though.
Right.
Yeah, it is. It's an experience.
So much more than that.
I've
Just a bakery, dude.
Like I feel like you have to go there at least once to get your British passport. That's the last test. Because it's really weird because I didn't realize how unknown Greg's was to people outside of England, right? Because a lot of British people, we speak about Nando's, we speak about Spoons, but like not a lot of people speak about Greg's abroad, and it's just one of these British things that if you're in England, you would have been to a Greg's at least once in your life. You might not always talk about it, but it's part of being British,
Right.
And I didn't realize this until I came back to England, and everyone started asking me if I'd gone back to Greg's yet.
It's important. Greg's is an important thing.
I feel, from what I heard from people, like I feel being British person and not going to Greg's is like being a Japanese person and not going to Family Mart. It's like that level of like.
But Family,
how
like,
do you not?
To me, like Family, it's even more than Family Mart because you can find Family Mart all over Asia. It's like all over Asia. So Greg,
I didn't know that.
Yeah. There's like Family Marts in Thailand actually. And
I didn't know that.
like
I didn't know that
7-Elevens.
either.
This is news to me.
Yeah, exactly. So it's not like a specific. It's obviously very Japanese because I'm gonna assume it started in Japan, but it's like expanded. But like I believe Greg's is only available in the UK,
Right,
and
right.
it's nothing.
So there's like a real like British pride.
So it's cheap. It tastes amazing. Yeah, what's not
Best
to like?
sausage rolls, man.
Well, why
sausage
haven't you
rolls?
guys taken me there yet? I want to go.
I actually haven't seen any.
It's like the hype is so real in my head.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
like,
yeah.
not only have you guys like hyped it up, but like every second British person I met this weekend is like Greg's though.
Let me see where the nearest Greg's is.
Yeah, real shit.
have a
Get,
look.
give
Real
me,
shit.
yeah, get your boy some Greg's. And then there were people being like, "Yo, so like, have you been to Tesco's yet? Like, have you had the Tesco meal deal?" And I was
Yeah.
like, "Not yet." And I knew like it was like real shit because like
Yeah.
people were like, "All right, here's my recommendation. These are the ones to avoid. These are the ones that you should go for." And I didn't realize there were so many different meal deals. And like there were people like in the signing, right? There would be like a person in front of me being like, "All right, so here's the meal deal I recommend." And I knew it was real shit when like the person behind them would like interject and be like, "No. Don't spread misinformation
Yeah,
like
yeah,
that.
yeah.
This is the real shit." And I was just like, "Guys, chill out."
There's a Greg's 10 minutes away from here.
Fuck yeah, let's go. Let's go. After this episode,
After.
let's go.
Yeah.
Let's go.
But yeah, we talk about Tesco meal deals, but a meal deal is like a lot of choice. So you need to like have the optimal order,
Right.
You know?
Yeah, I mean, it's like blackjack. There's the perfect way to play it. You know, that's what a meal deal is, right?
Yeah.
So you need to learn how to count cards, aka pick the right meal deal. Because, you know, there's certain items in the meal deal that you can get where if you were to buy them individually, it would cost like £2.50.
Right.
So you can kind of min-max the price options.
Right.
Yeah.
So don't be buying water. Don't get like, you know, a fucking little fruit thing. Maximize your cost performance.
Yeah, you don't want to go for Walker's crisps. It's,
No,
it's
McCoy's crisps, the big boys as well, or the Max.
Yeah, or Walker's Max.
Walker's Max.
You can't just go like the little fucking
Yeah.
basic ass vanilla.
You can get like an innocent smoothie as well. They're only like
Yeah.
£2.30.
You literally just sound like every person at the signing last week.
It's important.
I knew it was real shit as well because there was like a bunch of people also like when they mentioned the Tesco meal deal, they were like they came up to me and they were like, yeah, you know, Tesco meal deals are amazing, but they upped it by 50p and it's an absolute fucking travesty. And I'm just like, I wish I could feel your anger right now because it seems very real. Like,
There's one like 1 minute walk, not even 1 minute. Like it's literally opposite our hotel.
oh fuck yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah.
There was this article in the UK that some doctor was calling for meal deals to be banned because they're too unhealthy
Really?
and they're too like appealing.
Yeah.
because they're because people just buy these for like every day for lunch because it's such good value for money and they taste fucking amazing.
Right.
But they're really bad for you.
Right,
Because the sandwiches are like absolutely like just stuffed with awful stuff.
Yeah.
But it's like a McDonald's burger. It's like you don't want to know what goes in, but you know it tastes amazing.
But it tastes good, right? Yeah.
Why does it taste so damn good?
I mean,
What does
Family
Ronald
Mart
put in those?
sandwiches are exactly the same as well, right?
Oh
So
yeah,
it's
they're like
yeah.
you know the sandwiches are like not fresh at all, but like yeah,
But they still taste good.
they taste really fucking good.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's like going back to like why people are recommending you what to order. It's kind of like going to like, you know, a Chinese restaurant here and ordering like Kung Pao chicken or something, and it's
Right,
like
right.
I've had Chinese food, and then, you know, everyone would be like, no, you have not had Chinese food. You know what I mean?
It's like going to Panda Express.
Yeah, exactly.
I love Chinese food.
Yeah, no, like I'm not even the meal deal guy, but if you're gonna try one out, Joey, at least try like the optimal meal deal. And then we can
Get the
argue
real
about,
experience.
And then we can argue about it, you know.
Yeah, fair.
Some of the sandwiches come with an additional slice
Ooh.
just for free, like just out of the generosity.
That's not like a secret menu or anything?
no. There's like because normally it's
Like, you don't have to say like a code word.
normally it's like 2 slices, but some of them for some reason they have like 1 sandwich and a half in it, and no one knows why. It's one of the great mysteries of the world.
It's like they're like just trying to figure it out if you've like truly optimized it.
Yeah.
Like if you're a real player, you'll know this is the strat.
That's how you've gone through like everything in the menu, you know. So you know the good shit.
I haven't had a pot noodle yet. Fuck, I want to have a Bombay Bad Boy.
Pot noodle, is that like the cup noodle variant?
Yeah,
Yeah, but
that's
there's
like the cup noodle, yeah.
dude, the spicy one is so good. It's
Okay.
so good.
Well, I'd see. I want to experience this.
All right,
shit.
all right.
Yeah, I guess it's
I'm just scared that you might not like the stuff, and I'll be like, this is literally my entire existence is waiting on this. Like, if you don't,
Well,
if you don't
please,
like this, I'm gonna die.
I mean, look, there's a lot of food that is considered awful that I absolutely enjoy. So, I mean, how bad?
No, you got
famous
you-
last words.
you
How
got-
bad could it be?
You gotta be honest, Joey. You gotta be honest. You know,
Okay.
we wouldn't be the Trash Taste podcast if we weren't honest.
I
you
keep
know?
forgetting how shit mayo is as well. I keep forgetting how bad mayo is.
Yeah, I've gone back to not eating mayo. I had one sandwich because like Japan has conditioned me to being like mayo tastes good. I was wrong my entire life. I come back to England, have one sandwich, and I'm just like, I don't like mayo again.
Yeah, right. I always forget. I'm just like, I just assume everywhere has Kewpie mayonnaise.
Yeah,
I'm just oh no, that was like a delicacy. That's like
should have bought your own.
That's like some real shit.
Yeah. I've kind of like come to this realization because I did it's a small tangent, but before the boys came here, I did go on like a quick trip to like Belgium, and I ate a lot of bread. I ate a lot of.
I'm awake now.
Basically, every fucking meal, I'd order the meal and I'd get a loaf of bread, and it wasn't like the same loaf.
A loaf, like a little bun.
No, I'm not talking about that. It's like
loaf.
They basically gave me half a loaf.
Wow.
I swear to God, with every fucking meal. Like even if it wasn't a meal, even if I ordered a drink with like some quick snacks in it, they just give you bread by default.
Belgium knows what's up, dude.
Yeah.
So you like bread?
I think I like bread.
That's character development right there.
I want to do a proper like bread tasting stream or something where I actually try proper bread because like I kind of realized that maybe my entire life I didn't have shit taste. Maybe my entire life I just grew up in a place that just had shit food.
Yes. Just that shit bread.
Shit bread, you know?
You can get good bread in the UK. You just didn't seek it out.
You just need to like seek it out. Where it's just like you have to go to like specialty places.
It's so good though.
Which is like true for a lot of like cuisine in the UK. Which is like you can get good stuff here. You just have to seek it out.
Wait, so what's your favorite bread now? Like your favorite kind?
I don't know. I don't know. I just tried a lot of bread and they all tasted amazing. I need to get more. I need to get more.
Bro, I fucking
informed on bread, man. I'm just like I just got given bread. I'm like,
I want bread.
My man's finally getting that bread.
I love it when they give you bread and they give you like little fucking olive oil kind of dip thing with like spices.
Like the balsamic.
And you're like, don't mind if I do.
Yeah. It's so good.
I love bread so much.
Every time I go to like an Italian restaurant in the States and they give you like that bread with the olive oil and the balsamic, I'm like, fuck the pasta, just give me more of this shit. It's so good.
Oh, I guess I just got a text from Garnt. Wait, Garnt just found a new waifu? Okay. Oh my god. I'm gonna have to check this game out now. Oh my god! This video is sponsored by Data Live Spirit Pledge HD. So make sure you smash the link in the description down below to get a chance to play this awesome game. Get a chance to have a fight with your new waifu and maybe have a romantic date with her. So go and press that link in the description down below. And yes, that was a sponsored group chat section, fellow degenerates. I think spending money in England is way too easy. Bro, just tapping that card.
Yeah.
It's like Monopoly money.
So like, I know the US has contactless. Japan has contactless. But like,
in the form of Suica.
No one, you can't use it at like restaurants and stuff, right?
Yeah.
It's for like other places.
Yeah.
And
it
cab
is
rides.
getting better though too.
Yeah.
Because like a lot of, I did notice that a lot of places, because like in Australia as well now, it's like everything is just like tapless, right?
Dude, I mean, like in the UK now, it just seems to be that like the default is now that tapping the credit card. And it's way too easy to spend a lot of money. It just something pops up, you're like, I don't even know how much it is. Fucking tap, and then you're like, I'm broke now. Shit.
Because like I remember like the first time like they bring that out, right? And they just kind of like hand it to you to like tap. I was. Because I'm so used to doing it in Japan, right? So I pulled my phone out to like get my Suica ready.
Right.
And I was just like, nope, that's not it. It's credit card. It's credit card.
I think you could do it with your phone though if you had the right thing.
Yeah, right. So, and it's like, and because I'm so used to like even in Japan when you do like the whole tapping thing.
Yeah.
Like not only can you see how much money you've spent, but it's also like there's a little bit of a process, right?
Yeah,
to like kind of get it going. But
Yeah.
in the UK, it's literally just boop and you're done.
Because a lot of the times, because with contactless here, they have like a specific device for contactless, or they'll like show you the side with the contactless on.
Yeah.
And it's not the side with the price on. So you don't even know how much you're spending.
Yeah,
all the
exactly.
time.
Exactly.
And I realized after coming back this time, they've increased the limit again.
Yeah.
So when first contactless started coming out, I believe the limit was like 20. When
was it 20? Shit.
And then it got really, increased to 30, and then I believe 40, and now it's like 80. We just fucking doubled the amount.
Jesus
With a
Christ.
single tap of your card, you can spend $100. You know,
That's so scary.
like I realized how dangerous this was because at the convention, I was buying a round of drinks, and I didn't normally in Japan, they at least tell you the price, right? They tell you the price of how much you're spending. And here, they don't even tell you the price. They just assume you know the price, and they give you the contact thing, and you beep it. And so I bring back the drinks, and I remember one of my friends asked me, "Oh, are the drinks expensive here?" And I would just go,
Yeah, I didn't know.
"Maybe."
So I feel like yes is the answer, but I don't know.
Yeah, and they were like, I say, I think it's probably expensive, and they were like, no, is it London expensive or is it London hotel expensive? And I was just like, yes, yes,
Either one of those two.
yeah. I probably have to ask how much drinks are, but right now I literally have no idea. I just tapped my wallet away.
I literally don't know how much I've spent while I've been here, just because again they don't tell you.
Yeah.
It's so easy. It's literally just like throwing Monopoly money out.
True.
And being like, yeah, cool, okay, that was easy, sweet. And then it's only when you get back to the hotel and you're like, oh, fuck.
No, I wish it was Monopoly money, because at least with Monopoly money, you kind of know how much you're spending. You're like, you know if you're
I keep track of my Monopoly money, bro. I spend it very carefully.
Yeah.
Because
God, it's scary.
I remember because we went to we had a night, and we ended up just quickly as a group of mates in the casino, right? And so we didn't play that much, but I played a little bit, and I ended up with some physical money on me at the end of the night, right? And I remember cashing out, getting this physical money in my wallet, and I was just like, this is useless. When am I ever going to spend this? When am I ever going to spend this physical money that they've given me?
Right.
And because you don't ever need to spend cash at all.
Yeah, I noticed that. Yeah.
So now it's just like a paperweight in my fucking wallet.
Suffering from success.
It's not even. It's like
what am I going to do with all this money?
This is just suffering from convenience. It is suffering from convenience that we've gotten to now.
Oh my god. Yeah.
But yeah, I guess that's been our return to the UK.
Yeah.
It's been great. It's been great so far.
It's been absolutely amazing.
Thank you for carrying this episode. I've been dead for some reason. I think jet lag's still kicking my ass.
It is a bit. It's also really warm in this studio.
It's so hot. I feel like I'm in a sauna.
It's like lecture warm.
Yeah, at least in Japan we have an air conditioner.
Yeah.
In the UK.
Yeah, I was in my head, I was like, can we turn the aircon on? And I was looking around briefly. I was like, where is it? Where is it? Help. But hey, look at all these patrons though.
Yeah, look at all these lovely patrons. I forgot that we needed to shout them
Bro,
out.
it doesn't even feel like trash taste, dude.
No,
it feels weird.
Honestly, I was so excited to have the boys come over, because we haven't recorded the trash taste in I feel
like a month,
3 weeks. I think
almost
3
a
weeks.
month. I think.
And not only that, but normally at least I'm in Japan or something. But I had come to the UK early to finalize my wedding stuff, so I was just here, and I was just not talking to the boys, not recording trash taste, and I was just when I saw them come to England, it was just, I don't know, it just felt nice. It feels nice to have the boys back, man.
Hell yeah. Lads
so
reunited.
Good.
Let's go.
It's good to be back.
Yeah.
I like it.
Hell yeah. But hopefully you enjoyed this episode. Hey, if you want to support the show, then go over to our Patreon, patreon.com/trashtaste. Also follow us on Twitter, send us your memes on the subreddit, and if you hate our face, listen to us on Spotify. And we're going to be here for next couple of episodes.
Two more episodes.
I guess,
Maybe 2 more episodes.
about 2
yeah.
more episodes.
Yeah.
And then we're going to be in a completely different location. Who knows what will be next. But hopefully you guys enjoyed. And we'll see you in the next one, all right?
Bye.